NYPD band for their performance here this morning. Give it up for members of the band. On behalf of the mayor and the police commissioner, we welcome you to the theater here at Madison Square Garden for our October 2018 Police Academy Recruit Graduation Ceremony, and we direct your attention to the monitors throughout the room for a video presentation. Thank you.
We made a promise to listen to our cops, our community, and our city. The NYPD needed to change, and now it has, for the better. Our new plan of action includes trust, tackling crime, training, technology, and taking on terror. We've changed the way our cops work with the community by giving them the resources to forge real, lasting connections with the people they serve. We've driven down crime to its lowest level in 50 years by developing a new way of doing business. Neighborhood policing connects our cops with the community so they can work together to tackle crime and improve the quality of life in New York City. We've instituted new recurring training that emphasizes de-escalation and communication, and our field training program anchors police academy graduates in the basics of neighborhood policing and on-the-street police work. We've given a smartphone to every cop and put a tablet in every car, creating access to data in the field where it's needed most. We've instituted a dedicated operational counterterrorism unit that deploys highly trained, properly equipped critical response command teams around the city. The state of policing in New York City is strong and getting stronger every day. The people we serve demand it, and the men and women of the NYPD are listening. It's what we do. Now let's all work together to build one city, safe and fair, everywhere for everyone.
For nearly 2 centuries, we have trained to be strong and honest, to defend the defenseless, aid the injured, protect liberty, to hold together the fabric of our city. Heroes, always heroes. NYPD.
Graduating class, forward, halt!
Start spreading the news. I'm leaving today. I want to be a part of it. New York, New York. These vagabond shoes are longing to stray right through the very heart of it. New York, New York. I want to wake up in a city that doesn't sleep and find I'm king of the hill, top of the heap, spreading the news. I'm leaving today. I want to be a part of it. New York, New York. These vagabond shoes are longing to stray right through the very heart of it. New York, New York. I want to wake up in a city that doesn't sleep and find I'm king of the hill, top of the heap. May God spreading the news. I'm leaving today. I want to be a part of it. New York, New York. These vagabond shoes are longing to stray right through the very heart of it. New York, New York. I want to wake up in a city that doesn't sleep and find I'm king of the hill, top of the heap. These little town blues are melting away. I'll make a brand new start of it in old New York. If I can make it there, I'll make it anywhere. It's up to you, New York, New York. New York, New York. I want to wake up in a city that never sleeps and find I'm a number one, top of the list, king of the hill, a number one. These little town blues are melting away.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a hand to our Police Academy graduating officers. We are so proud of them. Would everyone please rise for the presentation of the colors and the singing of our national anthem by the NYPD band vocalists.
Anthem!
present arms.
Oh, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming.
And the rockets
Red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave?
for the land
Of the free,
and the home
home of the brave.
Order! Oh!
Thank you so much, NYPD band vocalists. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for our invocation by New York City Police Department Chief Chaplain, Rabbi Dr. Alvin Kess.
Parade rest.
Almighty and eternal God, creator of all the world and master of the universe, we invoke thy blessing upon these graduation exercises, and even as we implore thy favor upon the outstanding young men and women gathered here today who have completed the program of training to become police officers and are about to receive formal recognition of that fact, our thoughts and our prayers are with the brave firefighter in the Bronx who was badly injured just a few nights ago. Firefighting and police service are both sacred and dangerous callings, and we will be forever indebted to those courageous men and women who undertake these responsibilities. Dear God, we beseech thee to endow these young officers with understanding that they might act wisely and prudently in the fulfillment of their duties and responsibilities. Cause them to place their trust and reliance upon thee, that they might better cope with the problems and situations that will confront them. Direct the minds and hearts of these officers toward upholding and maintaining thy will upon earth. And may they ever strive to win the respect and esteem of their fellow New Yorkers by laboring for the relief of the needy and the support of the weak. Finally, dear God, we beseech thee to grant to Mayor de Blasio, Police Commissioner O'Neill, and all the men and women of the New York City Police Department continuing success and their unceasing efforts to make this metropolis truly a place where people of every race, religion, color, and creed can pursue their individual destinies untrammeled, unafraid, and in obedience to thy will. Amen.
Attend! Hut!
And thank you so much, Rabbi Kess. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated.
Take seats!
It's indeed my pleasure to introduce members of our dais that are here with us this morning. I would ask that you please hold your applause to all who have been introduced. Seated in the first row and on my right, the Chief of Training, Teresa Shortell, the Chief of Special Operations, Harry Whedon, Chief of Housing Bureau, James Secreto, Chief of Transportation Bureau, Thomas Chan, Chief of Detectives, Dermot Shea, Chief of Patrol, Rodney Harrison, Chief of Staff, Raymond Spinella, Chief of Department, Terrence Monahan, the Police Commissioner of the City of New York, the Honorable James P. O. the Mayor of the City of New York, the Honorable Bill de Blasio, First Deputy Police Commissioner Ben Tucker, Deputy Commissioner for Intelligence and Counterterrorism John Miller, Deputy Commissioner for Collaborative Policing Susan Herman, Federal Bureau of Investigation Assistant Director in Charge William F. Sweeney Jr., Secret Service Special Agent in charge of the New York Field Office David E. Beach, Amtrak Police Department Deputy Chief Martin Conway, Deputy Commissioner for Information Technology Jessica Tisch, Deputy Commissioner for Internal Affairs Bureau Joseph Resnick, Deputy Commissioner for Department Advocate Kevin Richardson, Deputy Commissioner for Administration Robert Ganley. Seated in our second row, the Commanding Officer, Patrol Bureau Brooklyn North Assistant Chief Jeffrey Madry, Commanding Officer, Patrol Bureau Manhattan North Assistant Chief Kathleen O'Reilly, Commanding Officer, Patrol Bureau Bronx Assistant Chief Larry Nakunin, Commanding Officer, Patrol Bureau Queens South Assistant Chief David Barrere, Supervising Chief Surgeon Dr. Eli Kleiman, Chief of Crime Control Strategies Gloria Pollock, Chief of Community Affairs Bureau Nilda Hoffman, Chief of Strategic Initiatives John Donahue, Chief of Transit Bureau and a former Commanding Officer of the Police Academy Edward Della Torre, Chief of Personnel William Morris, Police Department Chief Chaplain Rabbi Dr. Alvin Cass, Police Department Assistant Chief Chaplain Monsignor Robert J. Romano, President of the Patrolmen's Benevolent Association Patrick Lynch, President of the Detectives Endowment Association Michael Palladino, the Executive Director of the New York City Police Foundation Greg Roberts, Deputy Commissioner for Support Services Bureau Robert Martinez, Deputy Commissioner Equity and Inclusion Tracy Cassee, Senior Executive Law Enforcement Operations King County District Attorney's Office Gregory Thomas, Assistant Commissioner for School Safety Division Ramon Garcia, Deputy Commissioner Strategic Communications Bill Andrews, seated in our third row, the Commanding Officer of the Recruit Training Section Inspector Richard D., the Commanding Officer of the Firearms and Tactics Section Inspector Richard de Blasio, Commanding Officer of the Police Academy Deputy Chief Raymond Caroli, Commanding Officer of the School Safety Division Assistant Chief Ruben Beltran, Commanding Officer of Patrol Bureau Manhattan South Assistant Chief Stephen Hughes, the Commanding Officer of Patrol Bureau Staten Island Assistant Chief Kenneth Corey, Commanding Officer of Patrol Bureau Queens North Assistant Chief Juanita Holmes. We're always blessed and honored to be in the presence of family members of our fallen, as Rabbi Cass earlier mentioned. We have in our audience families of Andrews, Gillespie, Ramos, and Suarez, and we thank them for being here today at our graduation ceremony. Thank you, and God bless you. It's now my pleasure to ask the Chief of Personnel, William Morris, to administer the oath of the office to this graduating class.
Graduating class, attention!
Morning. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me.
Ready, move!
I do hereby pledge and declare that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the position of police officer in the New York City Police Department according to the best of my ability. So help me God. Congratulations.
Ready, front, take seats!
And thank you so much, Chief Morris. Ladies and gentlemen, it's indeed my honor to introduce the Mayor of the City of New York, the Honorable Bill de Blasio.
Thank you. Congratulations, officers. You made it. You made it. You worked hard. You overcame all the odds. It was never easy, was it? There was so much that you had to do. There was so much focus, so much commitment, but you stuck with it. And this is the moment that you've been waiting for and the moment you've earned. But it's also important to remember the people who made it possible for you. All the family members who stood by you with their love and their support, their belief in you. So this is a day of victory for them as well. Family members, give yourselves a round of applause. Congratulations to you. I want to thank all the leadership of the NYPD that's here, Commissioner O'Neill and First Deputy Commissioner Tucker, Chief Monahan, everyone who has led this department so ably. I want to thank the union leadership that is here with us today. And I want us all to have in our thoughts and prayers firefighter Thomas Cochran, 12-year veteran of the FDNY, who was fighting a fire last night, fell 3 stories. Thank God is in stable condition, but he needs our thoughts and prayers. So everyone, keep firefighter Thomas Cochran in your heart and in your soul in the days ahead. To all of our new officers, you are joining the best police department, not only in the United States of America, but in the entire world. And it's proven over and over again, each day on the streets of this city. This is a day that's joyous for New York City because 249 new guardians are here. 249 good men and women who have come forward to give their all to keep us safe. And this is a graduating class that is exceptional in so many ways. One of the things I like best about these graduations is we get to acknowledge the extraordinary stories of some of the graduates, some of the officers and their families. We also get to acknowledge those who are making their second decision to serve the public because they've done it once before on behalf of our nation. So I'd like you to join me in saluting the 38 veterans of our armed forces who are joining the NYPD today. Now, I mentioned the family traditions, and there are some amazing examples in this class. One is new police officer James Lynaugh, and he grew up hearing stories of the NYPD from his family, and he knew he wanted to follow in their footsteps. 5 family members are either active or retired NYPD members. His mom, police officer Sandra DeStasio, his dad, Detective 2nd grade, James Lynaugh, his aunt, police officer Barbara DeStasio, his uncle, police officer Terrence Lynaugh, and get this, his grandmother, 1st grade Detective Maureen Eiling. Now that's a family who has given themselves to NYPD. Let's salute them. Now the next example I want to give, this is a family, and this is like an only in New York thing. This is a family that calls themselves the Puerto Rican Blue Bloods. 18 years ago, they attended a graduation for Aida Sicardo, who is now crime scene detective Aida Sicardo. Today, they're back for the graduation of her daughter, police officer Daniela Figueroa. With her here is her twin brother, who is already a police officer, Hector Figueroa, and her aunt, Detective Heidi Pabe, and their uncles, New York City Correctional Officer Sammy Pabe and New York State Court Officer Lieutenant Henry Chen. They really are blue bloods, aren't they? Let's give them a salute. Another great thing you can say about this class is it represents the best of New York City. People from every part of New York City, every background, come together in common cause. This class speaks 40 different languages and hails from 25 different countries. Also, very important, more and more women are joining the NYPD. 20% females in this class, and we thank you. And a couple more examples to show you the richness of this graduating class. Police Officer Charles G. His parents came from China, And as is true there and in many countries, unfortunately, a lot of people do not feel close to the police officers in their country, and they come here with some distrust from their homelands. Charles decided to become an NYPD officer because he wants to make sure that in this city, the trust between the police and the community is always there. The bond is always there. And people know that when they're in trouble, they can turn to the NYPD. He's taking everything that he learned and he's using it to make this city a better place. Let's thank Police Officer G. And one more, who served our country as well. Police Officer Saba Ali. He came here from Iraq in 2012, and he served our nation there as a civilian translator for the United States military. Now, he comes with a lot of skills. Police Officer Ali speaks Arabic, Kurdish, and Turkish, and he wants to use those skills to help make sure this city is safe. Congratulations, Officer Ali. To all of you who are becoming police officers today, you are coming into this department at an amazing time. This is a record-setting police department every year, finding ways to make us safer and safer, doing things that people thought would be impossible. But nothing is impossible for the NYPD. I have to tell you, this is a winning team for sure. And to give you some evidence, about as recent as it can get, this last weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, there was not a single shooting in all of New York City. Isn't that amazing? You know, when you think about the history we came from and the challenges that had to be overcome by this NYPD, it's absolutely extraordinary. But I want to emphasize, a city of 8.6 million people, not a single shooting for 3 days. Let's thank the NYPD for what they have achieved. This is working because the NYPD has the best strategy, the best training, because neighborhood policing is bringing our communities and our police closer together, because they're sharing information for a common good like never before, because this department never rests on its laurels. This department always seeks to get better. A championship team, you can call it a championship team not just because of what was achieved, but because of the attitude of champions, always striving to get better. I will conclude with this. We celebrate today this wonderful group of young men and women who are joining us. We celebrate the accomplishments of this department. But to all the family members, I want you to know that everyone up here, we realize that we have an obligation to all of you to keep our officers safe, to make sure that they are given the tools they need. That is why we have the finest training that this police department has ever had, the best technology ever, the best equipment ever. 2,000 more officers on patrol in the last 2 years. These are the things that make this the safest big city in America. But these are also the things that will keep your loved ones safe, and we are committed to ensuring that for you. I want to thank every single one of you who came forward and made this decision to join the NYPD. It is a noble calling. Your city thanks you, and on behalf of 8.6 million New Yorkers, I say, God bless you all.
And thank you so much, Mr. Mayor. It's indeed my pride and pleasure to introduce the Police Commissioner of the City of New York, the Honorable James P. O'Neill.
I didn't disappear, I just had to get my speech. Morning, everybody. First day on patrol, that's what you're gonna look like? All those grim faces? You're gonna scare everybody. Good morning, recruits. Good morning, sir. All right. Kind of like a smile. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for being here. Welcome to our recruit graduation ceremony, and to our newest police officers, welcome to the NYPD. I know it wasn't easy to get here. I know there are many different paths you could have chosen, but you chose this one. You chose to become police officers, and I want to thank you for that, because it wasn't an easy choice. Police work is definitely not for everyone. You're going to face things in this career that your family and friends will never face. To be honest, most people couldn't manage the challenges of this job or of this city. But over the past 6 months, you've proven that you're not most people. You're NYPD cops. Think about that for a second. Let it sink in. You're now members of the largest and most respected police department in the country. You're now responsible for the safety and security of 8.6 million New York City residents and nearly 63 million tourists a year, and millions more who commute here for work each day. It's a tremendous responsibility, but you wouldn't be sitting here today if we thought you couldn't handle it. I have to say, I feel a little jealous looking at all of you. There's something about the first day in the job that you can't ever replace, and you're going to remember this day forever. You have your whole career in front of you. There will be rewards, but this job is going to present challenges to you too. And truthfully, there'll be some bad days. But I've been a cop now for 36 years, and I can promise you the good days will far outnumber the bad ones. I still wake up every day grateful for the opportunity to work for the greatest police department in the world with the best cops and civilians in our profession. We're incredibly fortunate to do what we do. And our work has never been more meaningful to the people we serve. We have a very clear, well-defined mission. That's to fight crime and to keep people safe. That's it. That's the job. And no one does it better than the men and women of the NYPD. That is our department's legacy, and now it's your legacy. It's your job to keep it going, but it won't be easy. A lot of time away from families. There'll be missed birthdays, holidays, anniversaries. But this isn't a regular job, and like I said earlier, it's not for everyone. But I'll tell you again, being a cop, without a doubt, is the best job in the world. Every single day, you're out there helping people, affecting their lives in a positive way. And it doesn't get any better or more special than that. That's why you took this job, to make a difference, to do good. And here you are. So remember that when you're out on patrol, meeting the people who live, work, and visit New York City's neighborhoods. And never underestimate what you mean to them and the impact you might have on their lives. Everything you do matters, like it mattered to police officer Mahmud Mohammad, who's graduating with you this morning. Mahmud grew up in Brooklyn at a time when drugs, gangs, and violence were all around him. He saw how those negative influences ensnared some of his classmates and threatened to destroy their lives before they even began. But then, on a basketball court, Mahmud and 3 of his friends met someone who put them on a very different path, an NYPD cop. That officer took the time to play basketball with them, to mentor them, and to show them that they had real opportunities if they were willing to put in the work. That officer understood that kids like Mahmud and his friends were the future of the city, and he made a personal investment in their futures. Now, with Mahmud's graduation today, all 4 of these childhood friends are now NYPD cops. Congratulations, Officer Mohammad, and welcome to the NYPD. Every one of you has a unique story about how you got here. But you all have one thing in common. You didn't get here on your own. You're in these seats today because of the people who are sitting behind you. So to all the family members and friends of our graduates, we thank you for your support, and let's give them a round of applause. I know you have gloves on, but you can applaud too, with your families and friends. Come on, let's go. Give them a round of applause. That's your first order from the police commissioner. I say all the time that cops have the greatest jobs in the world, and we really do, but you are families. You have the hardest jobs, the most difficult jobs. It doesn't matter whether the person you're here for today is the first member of your family to become a cop, or the latest in a long tradition of public service. Either way, I understand the mixture of emotions you're feeling right now. You're proud, excited, maybe even a little apprehensive. And I want you to know this. You walked into this theater with one son, daughter, niece, nephew, brother, or sister, and you're walking out with 36,000 more. Because when a police officer swears the oath we just heard, the NYPD swears an oath to that officer too. Our department and our city promise to honor them, to protect them, and to never forget their commitment to the people of New York. And always, that promise extends to their loved ones as well. There's an officer graduating today who already understands that very clearly. She had just turned 9 years old just 2 days prior when her life and the lives of all Americans changed forever. On September 11th, 2001, her father, police officer Ramon Suarez, said goodbye to his family and went to work like he's done thousands of times before. He'd been a police officer for 14 years, and there was nothing remarkable about that Tuesday morning when he posted at a subway station on the Lower East Side of Manhattan. And then he and his partner, police officer Mark Ellis, heard about what was happening at the World Trade Center. And being on a foot post, they didn't have a vehicle on their post. So he commandeered a taxi cab and sped across town to what had become Ground Zero. When they got there, these NYPD heroes immediately went to work evacuating survivors from the North Tower, repeatedly going in and out of the building to carry out anyone who couldn't make it on their own. Among them, an asthmatic who collapsed after descending 49 flights of smoke-filled stairs, and a woman 7 months pregnant whom they led to safety to a triage center. Then officers Suarez and Ellis went back in, they didn't come back out. Even now, 17 years later, none of us has completely come to terms with what happened that day, and I don't think we ever will. But this morning, we're here at the NYPD Police Academy graduation of Ramon's daughter, and that in and of itself says a lot about how far we've come and how the NYPD will never be deterred from the critical work that we do. I know your dad is proud you're wearing his shield today, Jillian, and so are we. Congratulations, Police Officer Suarez. Jillian, you heard those applause, right? No pressure. I want to thank the dedicated instructors and staff of the Police Academy and our training and personnel bureaus for preparing our police officers for their careers ahead. And to our newest cops, never forget who you are, what you do, and why you do it. Don't ever doubt what you mean to this department or to the people of this great city. It's my great privilege to welcome you all to our NYPD family. Good luck, watch out for each other, and always stay safe. Thank you very much.
And thank you so much, Commissioner O'Neill. At each graduation of recruits from the Police Academy, awards are presented to the outstanding members of the graduating class. These awards are in the form of an engraved plaque for various categories. At this time, I'll ask the Mayor and the Police Commissioner to present the following awards. Our first award is the Mayor's Award. This award is given to the student officer who has attained the highest overall average, scoring an overall average of 98%. Mayor de Blasio will present this award to Police Officer Kevin Zorn. The Police Commissioner Award is presented to the student officer who attained the second highest overall average, scoring an average of 96.25%. Commissioner O'Neill will present this award to Police Officer Benjamin Quinn. The first Deputy Police Commissioner Award is for the student officer who scored the highest academic average of 97.67%. First Deputy Police Commissioner Ben Tucker will present this award to Police Officer Michael Eckerly. The Chief of the Department's Award is given to the male and female recruit who have achieved the highest physical fitness runoff score. Chief of Department Terrence Monahan will present this award to police officers Kevin Zorn and Angela Marriott. Thank you. The Chief of Training Award is given to the student officer who has scored the highest firearm score, a proficiency average of 100%. The Chief of Training, Teresa Shortell, will present this award to Police Officer Michael Robinson, Jr. The Patrolmen's Benevolent Association Award is presented to the student officer who has served as the outstanding company sergeant for the training class. The president of the Patrolmen's Benevolent Association, Patrick Lynch, will present this award to Police Officer Panagiotis Kolosliadakis. The New York City Police Foundation Award is given to the student officer who has exceptional community service while their assignment at the Police Academy. The Executive Director of the New York City Police Foundation, Greg Roberts, will present this award to Police Officer Eric Cruz. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Commissioner O'Neill. At this time, I'm proud to introduce the police officer who received the Mayor's Award, our class valedictorian police officer, Kevin Zorn.
Good morning, Mayor de Blasio, Commissioner O'Neill, distinguished members of the dais, family, friends, and my fellow graduates. I have the honor and privilege to stand before you today as the valedictorian of the October 2018 NYPD Academy class. I truly consider it an honor and privilege because the men and women of this class who I represent are an extraordinary group of officers that I'm extremely proud to be a part of. On a daily basis throughout the last 6 months, I was continually impressed by the hard work and dedication of these individuals. To make it up until this point did not come easy. The institution that exists to qualify us has been meticulously arranged in order to push us to our limits so that we can begin to understand the extent of our capabilities. And it is staffed with personnel who understand and revere their obligation to their recruits and to this city. Over the last 6 months, I watched as some of those around me who I've grown close to struggle to meet either academic or physical standards. Often, I could see the stress in their eyes and hear the concern in their voices as they contemplated as to how they'd overcome the obstacles they faced. They were battling for their dreams, their fates weighed in the balance. Steadfast they held as they prepared to continue the fight. They had already sworn an oath, and they intended to keep their word. Some pushed themselves to run when they felt their bodies had nothing more to give. Some trained 2-3 times a day. Some had to train, attend class, and fight to remain attentive, all while in a constant caloric deficit. Others made their way to the academy early on a regular basis to attend extracurricular tutoring. Some devoted their weekends to their studies to ensure they understood the required materials. Sacrifices were made, social events declined, time spent with loved ones restricted. I watched these individuals did all within their power to increase their likelihood of success. It brings me great joy to say that those I've been speaking of sit amongst us today. I mention the difficulties they faced because through their unrelenting focus and dedication, I found a great source of personal motivation. If I know one of my peers is required to run as fast as they physically can in order to pass, why would I not also run as fast as I can? If I know that one of my peers is devoting themselves fully to their studies in order to better understand the material and pass the tests, why would I give anything less than my own devotion? As I watched those around me give their all in training, I felt I owed it to them to do the same because I feel that's a part of our duties to one another. I had many powerful relationships with my classmates that consisted of a reciprocal belief in one another, relationships that are not soon to dissipate. Tomorrow is a new chapter in our careers. Each and every one of us will have the same responsibilities, whether you pass the Academy standards by a narrow margin or if you achieved academic excellence. This is New York City. The people of the world are depending on us to be able to do our jobs competently. I plan to embark on the journey of mastering patrol with the same mindset I maintained throughout the academy, and I invite all of you to join me. I expect that you'll give it your all and won't quit as long as I don't quit. In return, I'll give it my all, and I won't quit as long as you don't quit, thus rendering quitting improbable and ensuring we get the job done. Over the last 6 months, my company has been a critical part of my life. As such, I would like to thank my company sergeant, whose name may sound both intense and familiar because he just won the company sergeant award, Police Officer Panagiotis Koutsaladakis. Thank you, applause at the end, please. My assistant company sergeant, Police Officer Anthony Rhodes. My company instructor, my company administrator, Police Officer Riley Farron. I would certainly like to acknowledge and thank the members of Company 1833. All of you were of great support and inspiration to me. I had an incredible and unforgettable experience in our time together. On behalf of the graduating class, I would especially like to thank Chief of Training, Teresa Shortell, Commanding Officer of the Police Academy, Deputy Chief Raymond Caroli, and Commanding Officer of Recruit Training Section, Inspector Richard D. I would like to thank the following people for their relentless support and encouragement: my platoon commander, Lieutenant Tillowitz, squad supervisor, Sergeant Saturnin, classroom instructor, Sergeant Rivera, and also my physical training and tactics instructor, Police Officer Parisi. I would especially like to thank my official company instructor, who displayed the perfect balance of skill and passion in his instruction, Police Officer Cacciatore, and his partner, Police Officer Gallagher, who always kept us engaged with his high theatrical energy style teaching. All of you went above and beyond to help us achieve our goal of becoming New York City police officers. Your sincere investments in our success were apparent and are deeply appreciated. Finally, I would like to thank my father, retired NYPD Detective Kenneth Zorn, who has always served as my primary role model, my mother, who has also served as my other primary role model, the rest of my family in attendance, a mentor of mine who can join us today, retired Worcester, Massachusetts Police Officer Jimmy Carmody, and lastly, my beloved girlfriend Sophie. You have all been more supportive of me than I could possibly express. It was recommended to me that I close with a quote and go on to explain its significance. And that's not something that I would ordinarily do, and I had no intention of doing so until last Wednesday when we were at the 9/11 Museum. For those of you unfamiliar, within the museum is a massive 36-foot tall, 58-ton piece of welded steel known as the last column. It's positioned prominently within the museum's foundation hall. It was a portion of column 1001B, which was one of 47 columns that supported the inner core of the South Tower. During the recovery efforts, it became a relic of 9/11 and is viewed by many as a symbol of resilience and hope. Many organizations, including the NYPD, memorialized those who made the ultimate sacrifice upon that day on the column. As I stood at the foot of the column and attempted to digest its vast significance, my gaze came upon a 4-word quote, likely written in permanent marker, with no note of authorship, that delivered a simple yet powerful message. In block letters and underlined twice, it read, "Our job, our duty." As I finished reading it, I had a feeling come over me that I was a part of something larger than myself. I felt compelled to share this with you today because how deeply it resonated with me and out of respect for all of those who came before us. Our job, our duty. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your attention today. April class of 2018, congratulations. I look forward to the next few decades we have together. Thank you.
And thank you so much, Officer Zorn. And now, to perform a musical selection, I'd like to introduce the pipes and drums of the NYPD Emerald Society. to those graduating officers, as the mayor earlier mentioned, who have served in our nation's armed forces, the Emerald Society Pipes and Drums will now perform a selection of military anthems. Members of the graduating class, our dais, and even our audience are welcome to stand as the anthem of your branch of service is performed. Once again, the Emerald Society Pipes and Drums.
America said, right, quick, now.
and gentlemen, the Emerald Society Pipes and Drums. And I'll take this opportunity to present the student officers who were assigned as company sergeants for the class of October 2018. These officers assumed additional responsibilities beyond just their academic and physical training and acted as liaisons between the staff and the student officers. Will the company sergeants please rise and be acknowledged?
Company sergeants, attention! Take seats.
Members of our audience may be curious about those officers wearing the gold citation cords. They are being recognized for achieving overall scores that place them at the top 10% academic average of this graduating class. This is a superior achievement. Yes, we should applaud this, especially when you consider our curriculum is credited for 36 college credits. Will those officers please rise and be recognized?
Gold citation cords. Attention! Take seats.
We would also like to acknowledge the official company instructors and all the instructional staff at the Police Academy, and I ask that they rise and be recognized for their hard work in preparing and training this graduating class.
Academy staff, attention! Take seats.
Ladies and gentlemen, this Police Academy graduating class of October 2018 would like to thank all of you for your support that have given them to make this day possible.
Graduating class, attention! About face! Present! Oh! Order! Oh! About face!
And would everyone please rise for the benediction by Police Department Assistant Chief Chaplain Monsignor Robert J. Romano.
Attention! Parade rest.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we give you thanks for this day. 6 months ago, our graduates entered the academy to learn, and today they are about to leave to serve the people of our great city. They are our newest heroes. It has been a long road, but today they have realized their goal to be police officers. Today they become a part of the history of the NYPD. Today, be with them in their future endeavors. Watch over them and keep them safe from all harm. Bless them with wisdom and right judgment to be fair and just in their duties and the interactions with the people they have sworn to serve. Let the oath that they have made and the excitement and zeal that they have on this their graduation day follow them throughout their careers in our department. Bless our graduates' families, their wives and husbands, fathers and mothers, and their children, for the many sacrifices they have made and will continue to make for their careers. Bless their instructors for sharing their wisdom and expertise. We thank them for a job well done. Finally, Lord, we ask you to bless and protect Mayor de Blasio, Commissioner O'Neill, and all the members of the New York City Police Department, uniformed and civilian, for the continual work that they accomplish to make our city a safer place for all of us to live and work in. And finally, may God bless our graduates this day. May God bless the NYPD. And as always, may God bless the United States of America.
And thank you so much, Monsignor Romano. This class has chosen to recognize their place in the history of the NYPD as witnessed by their class motto. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishments. behalf of the mayor and the police commission, this concludes our graduation ceremony. Have a pleasant day and a safe trip home. Thank you.
Graduating class. Right face.
We're going right now. Come on.
Forward, march.
Rich, you can sit right here. Right here. Because it's easier, Rich. As soon as we're done, we're leaving. All right. I got you. Good done. Good deal.
Mr. Ford? I got you.
You guys want to unplug from this?
But with Centron, though, I got to be right here. I got to ask for...
Do you guys want to unplug? Because we're leaving right after.
We unplugged. Well, I did.
You guys are all unplugged?
Well, while you're there, just...
Which one are you?
I'll leave that alone.
Take one of them out. Scott, can you actually take that down to the floor?